but just to sort of say a little bit about that. One way that Buddhists practice alongside meditation is through calling to mind figures who embody different aspects of the enlightened mind. So whether you view them as literally existing, or whether you view them as sort of expressions of or more symbolic representations of aspects of ourselves, they're still very powerful part of practicing as a Buddhist. One sort of kind of these figures that we call to mind are bodhisattvas, beings who have dedicated themselves to enlightenment for the sake of all beings. Vajrasattva is one of those. So in terms of the refuge tree, the bodhisattva, there's a set of 5 bodhisattvas who are on the left, just here. So although in this case, Vajrasattva actually appears at the very top. He's this figure here. And the fact that he has a slightly unusual position is sort of part of why he's relevant tonight. I just wanted to say that beforehand, that when we're calling these figures to mind, we are doing it with the understanding that the beauty and strength that the figures have is really ours. They're not distant gods to be appeased or entreated. They're aspects of ourselves. So the symbolism of Vajrasattva, just to sort of say a little bit about that, he is, as you can see on both of these images, represented as a white man, sort of a being sort of made of light. Actually, all bodhisattvas are in this case. But very pure white light he's made from. He's sitting in meditation, and he's holding in one hand, his right hand, which is to his heart. There's a kind of vajra appearing above it. So there's a very lot of symbolism about what vajras are. One way of describing them is as lightning thunderbolts. They symbolise pure energy and the imperishable nature of reality. I won't say anything than that, just have to take my word for it. In his other hand, he's holding a vajra bell. So it's a bell with a vajra handle, which symbolises wisdom, sort of melodic, resonant, open. He's also wearing a kind of crown, a diadem of 5 colours, which connects to the 5 Buddhas, if you're familiar with those, because he's the kind of concentration of all of the qualities those Buddhas have into one being. So the reason he's in this slightly unusual position at the very top is that he's also thought of as what's called an Adi Buddha, a Buddha who is a kind of primordial Buddha. He embodies the principle of enlightenment outside of space and time. So whereas Shakyamuni, the historical Buddha, was a person who lived in a world very much like ours at a very particular point in history, Vajrasattva is sort of beyond that whole sphere of time and space. He's sort of everywhere and at all time. But he's also, but he's not distant because of that. He's sort of smiling down at the rest of the refuge tree, at all of the universe, with this sort of attitude of acceptance, complete acceptance. So Vajrasattva has a special connection or association with death and with mourning. Partly, perhaps, just thinking about what the associations we already have with the colour white might already sort of key us up to why that is. Just to say a bit more about that. So this white light that he's made from is kind of formless purity. It's the essence of our own mind, but which we are usually too clouded or confused to be able to recognise. And it's said, particularly within the Tibetan tradition, the moment after death, we have this opportunity to recognize the nature of our own minds. There's this sort of moment where we meet the blinding white light of reality, which is a chance to let go of our kind of clinging to our separateness, and just to let the truth in, basically. And yeah, Vajrasattva gives a body to that, turns it, sort of personifies that possibility. Yeah, so it's normally too much for us, of course, to have this sort of direct encounter with the absolute nature of reality. We tend to return to a kind of dimmer light, of the light like the one we've left. Perhaps we recognise that within our day-to-day lives, not just at the moment of death. But still there is this chance for a deep realisation of the way that things are. That's still there, still remains. And it's that possibility that he personified. So the Vajrasattva mantra, which we'll be reciting later, is often recited for those who've recently died. And the idea is to sort of call him to help let go, both for the person who's passed on, but also for those who are left behind. We are trying to open ourselves to that white light of the truth, which is hard to bear, but which is always really for the best. So there will be a copy of the mantra if you want to take part. You don't have to. We'll be doing that in the second half, and we'll hand those out then. And there is a translation of that. I just want to draw out a couple of lines from it. Vajrasattva Venapatishta, which is means Patishta can be translated as stand by me. There's this sense that we're really calling him to be near us and to be supportive. And the line after that is, be firm for me, be strong for me. Particularly at times like this, there can be that real sense of how easy it is to be overwhelmed by what's happened. But there are resources beyond our own that we can call on. After this, in the mantra, we're asking him for help and purification, and sort of letting go all of the things that stand in the way of us moving on and seeing how things really are. And then after that, there is very delightfully ha 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 ho, which is the laughter of release. There's this promise really that even though that process is a difficult one, what it leads to is joy. And then the very final line, which can't really be translated, but I just wanted to still acknowledge, it's aham pat. So some of you will have used that in other contexts, but the final syllable, pat, is often recited for someone who's died. So it's particularly appropriate for this mission. So hopefully that's giving you a bit of a flavour. As I say, there will be a copy of the words later. Do feel free to take it. But it's also fine if you
Thank you. Thank you, Dojeva. So, we have evoked beautifully a presence of Vajrasattva. I hope the figure feels a bit closer to you. We will now practice a little bit, okay? I will lead the practice, so there is no need to know how we practice. I will just lead us through a simple version of a meditation practice that is known as Metta Bhavana. So it's a practice of evoking loving kindness. Okay. So let's start with just settling into our postures on our chairs. Yeah, the translation background is welcomed at any point, so it's quite nice actually. It feels quite lovely to hear the backgrounds of translation. So please don't do what you need to do. Yeah. Okay, so let's just start with just checking with our bodies. Let's see if we can sit in a way that is reasonably comfortable. So we just check our body posture first. So if you sit on chairs, see if you can be in touch with your feet, if they are supported by the ground. And if you sit on a cushion, see if you can bring awareness to your lower legs and just feeling that support of the earth. And it can be in a form of a pressure, or you can start feeling some sensations in the lower body, just sort of giving the weight all the way down to the earth. So you can support yourself with the breath. So when you breathe out, you can let go all the breath, all your weight, all your tensions down to the earth. As if all the energy goes down to the earth, so we can start easing off any tensions, maybe relaxing a little bit. And the purpose of it is so we feel a little more grounded and a little bit within ourselves. We're usually occupied with a lot of thinking and ideas and all sorts of schedules. So for this session, we're back to our body and we're trying to inhabit for now the lower parts of the body. So allowing the legs and the feet to merge with the element earth. Taking a deep breath from the belly. Following the breath all the way down to the lower parts of your body. And breathing out, letting go into the earth. The earth's qualities are the ones of support and nourishment, stability. So when we take a breath in, I invite you to allow yourself to bring those qualities of the earth right into your body as you breathe in. So you breathe in a sense of this unlimited nourishment that earth gives us. Allowing yourself to breathe in the warmth, allowing yourself to breathe in the connectedness, the nourishment. So that energy goes up from the earth through your lower parts. And let's focus a bit on the area of your belly. So see if you can bring those qualities of nourishment all the way to your lower belly. And noticing if there are tensions, noticing if you can soften a little bit. Letting the energy go up all the way through your spine and the front of the body, the back of your body. Let the tinglings arise around those areas, around your chest. Some aspects of aliveness coming all the way from the earth upwards. Allowing your fingers to relax, allowing your wrists to relax, your arms, your elbows, your shoulders. See if you can bring that aspect of somewhat upliftedness, being uplifted by your breath in the upper body. Inviting some spaciousness within your throat. Allowing the face to relax and soften, the eyes and the jaw, and your teeth and your tongue. Noticing and allowing them to be relaxed. And breathing into the whole of your body. Being aware of changes happening through the breath. Being aware of all the holdings and lettings go. And through this way, just being aware of this very body, we are moving towards this very first stage of the practice where you open up to yourself. So we pay attention to how we are and what we are. And we pay attention in a way that is kind, that is soft and that is warm. In this stage we are befriending ourselves. we allow ourselves to be just as we are, with everything we are about, with all our ups and downs. We are allowing ourselves to breathe. And how do we bring kindness to ourselves? How can I be kind to myself? By being present, by being open, by wishing myself to be well and to be happy and to be nourished. By wishing myself to be free from suffering. By allowing myself to be exactly how I'm supposed to be, without any shoulds, full acceptance. So we can relax with each other. Nothing else to do. Simply kindly awareness towards yourself. And now I invite you to bring to mind or to your heart a good friend of yours, someone you feel at ease, someone who is a good friend. And we bring that kindly awareness towards that friend. And what I mean by that is we're opening our heart with that acceptance and allowance towards that very friendship. So we expand the heart's awareness. And what does it mean to bring a kindly awareness to a friend? by just sitting here, holding in your heart and wishing them well. May they be free from suffering, and may they be well and happy. May there be joy in our friendship. So allowing yourself to take in that cloud of metta, loving kindness. Allowing yourself to share kindly awareness with self and a friend. Still supporting yourself with breath. And at this point, we will move to the last stage. We are going to open to a possibility that this kindly awareness can be shared amongst all of us here. So we let go of all the barriers. We open up to the kindly awareness. Just as we wished our friend and ourselves to be happy, so here too we are wishing each other wellness and happiness. And this way we do step into a cloud of kindly awareness. And that of course extends towards all those who are also online, so that kindly awareness keeps expanding wider and wider with no boundaries. And allowing ourselves to inhabit the kindness. And in this stage, I invite you to bring to mind the very connection that you have formed with Jack. If you knew Jack that's what I invite you to do. The connection of friendship and relation that you had with Jack. If you didn't know Jack, I invite you to bring to mind Jack as a mitra who had connections with a number of people and the family. So we bring into this loving, kindly awareness every single connection that Jack has made with every other person throughout his life. Honoring those connections. And holding them with love and kindness. All the friendships, all the family relations, bringing metta, holding in this loving awareness. And checking in with yourself, how you're feeling, how you're sitting, allowing yourself to breathe. adjusting your posture, relaxing your face. And how this stage traditionally finishes within the Metta Bhavana is bringing to this loving awareness all sentient beings. So if you wish, you can extend the wishes for wellness and happiness to everyone around you, Jack's family and Jack's friends, and then all your friends, your family, and letting the metta, the loving kindness, expand further and further, bringing ease and freedom to all sentient beings. Allowing the heart to open, and as we're coming to the end of this practice, still staying with a gentle awareness of loving kindness, we just sit for a minute and allow ourselves to just be without doing anything, absorbing the practice, absorbing the presence of one another, allowing whatever comes up to come up, being present to emotions, being present to yourself. And as I ring the bell, as we finish the meditation, I invite you to just take your time and do what you need to do. If you wish to carry on meditating, feel free to sit. And if you wish to have a break, we will have a bit of break after the bell. Thank you very much. We will have a break downstairs if you would like to have a cup of tea or a biscuit, maybe. And we will come here at 8:40, and we will then open the space for us to rejoice in Jack. Okay? So do what you need to do, basically, for now. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Welcome back. It's a very I get really joyful and excited because what we're going to do is something what we are very good at in Sri Ratna. We do rejoicings as a practice, and we do it really well because we do it from the heart. And this is the space I would like to open for us to rejoice in Jack's life. Okay? And for that, I would like Arya Vachin to come and introduce Jack to us as a friend and as a new Mitra as well, because he became a Mitra recently. So if you would like to come and open the space for us for rejoicings.
Hello, everybody. I got one here. Yeah, thank you very much. I hope that people online can hear me. Yeah, it's a very special occasion, and I'm grateful to Dhyajava and Prikshanandi for introducing the evening so beautifully and so thoughtfully as well tonight. Yeah, and regretfully, I couldn't be there for Jack's funeral. I was away, and when I heard the news, what I experienced first of all was a sense of regret. Yeah? So Lloyd and me were thinking of visiting Jack the weekend just before I left. And I think that sense of regret just opened something up for me in terms of the depths of my connection with Jack. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is to remember Jack tonight for all of us. And we had a very beautiful ceremony at the hospice where Jack was receiving, end of the life care. And we had an opportunity that night to rejoice in him, with him still present. And that was very special as well, And I always felt that Jack had a way of be present, even though he could be quiet. I was thinking during the meditation that Jack was in this very room many times, meditating with us. But I'm okay to stop for the. But you could feel, that he was in the room when we were practicing together. So it's quite sobering, it's quite sobering when somebody passes away, especially when somebody so young as Jack, and yeah. And with something, so a very special quality, I think at when I wrote something for Jack, for his Mitra ceremony, I describe him as a bright, sharp gem, and he was that. He was a very bright, but also very sharp. That's a quality that I really enjoyed of him. He was very intelligent. So he came to the Nottingham Buddhist Center after a big one, so one of those big young Buddhist retreats that happen in Adishtan. I think it's around August that those retreats happen. So I think that was the retreat in 2021. Yeah, that's correct. And he was definitely searching for something. He was already involved with the Buddhist society at the university. He was actually the treasurer of the Buddhist society. So he was a person who could step up to take responsibility. And he didn't mind actually to be at the service, of others. Something I was remembering very especially before tonight was a conversation that I had with Jack I think there was a visit that we did at the end of January, probably. Yeah. There was Lloyd, me, and a friend from London, Jay. We went to see Jack, and there was a point in that visit where Jay and Lloyd left Jack and me alone to talk, and we had a very personal conversation. Partly, I was sort of a following up, his desire to become a mitra, as he effectively did. But that was a very I felt very connected with Jack's capacity to his capacity to be aware of his own journey, of what he was intending to do. So one of the things that I ask usually, to anybody who wants to become a mitra is how they practice, how they think they're practicing, and I asked that to Jack in the conversation, and what struck me from Jack's reply was that he was very aware of what he was struggling with. That was his first reply. So he was very aware that he was feeling quite unintegrated. That was a thing that he was working with. And he was feeling quite scattered, in that process. And in the midst of that, he was very clear that he wanted to apply, his energies. And I think that's brilliant, that rather than having an idea of the shape that the practice should take, he was in the hospice. He was at the point he couldn't walk. He was on the bed. He has lost control of his legs. He was very aware of what he was working with, what he was dealing with. And I thought that inspired a lot of confidence, a lot of trust to me. That he was actually he was really honest, with his process and with going for refuge. This is a phrase that we use in Triratna, going for refuge. So usually refers to this symbol that we have here that represents the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. But it's that movement towards something that we aspire, something that we want to become in a way. And something that really moved me in that conversation was that Jack at some point said that what he wanted to do with his life was to devote his energies to alleviate the suffering of all beings. Those were his words. So a very interesting altruistic dimension, that ties up with what I was saying before about him taking responsibility, being the treasurer of the Buddhist society at the university, and I saw that in him as well. That he was, sometimes in Triratna we say that when people come to the Buddhist center, when people come to classes, you might not feel the motivation to do something for yourself. You might struggle to find a good reason to go to a class at the Buddhist center for your own benefit. So sometimes what we say to people, well, do it for others, do it for the rest, do it for the people that are in your group, do it for the people that are in your class, for your friends in the Sangha. And I saw that in Jack as well, that a real sense of he wanted to be part of, he wanted to add to something that was already happening, to add to the momentum. I was very moved many times in our group. Here are some guys from the group, Marcus, Rio, Lloyd, our friend over there, that Jack, even in the midst of having a chemotherapy session, he will connect online. He will do that, and he will be very present. And he will be there with his book, and he will be following the conversation and waiting for his chance to say something. So he was. I think we were close in a particular way. So I remember the conversation with Jack when he just found out, that he had a sarcoma, that he had the biopsy and a sarcoma, and the difficulty of the forces that he was working with, that his own mortality, his desire, to do something in terms of a spiritual life, his desire to stay in the UK, because Jack also had a difficulty, with his legal status in the UK, and all that, and he was Jack had that capacity as well of being very sharp intellectually, but also very open, so, and he was in tears, in that conversation, he was in tears, completely overwhelmed by all those forces, and yet still there, he wasn't defeated by it, and he could be, we had very direct, very honest communication, and he was there present, he wasn't, I never felt like Jack was closing down, never, he was always open, he was always willing to engage with communication. There was a moment in that conversation of that visit that I referred to, when I asked Jack about, his relationship with his parents, and he was also aware of a level of frustration in relation to that, in relation to the communication with the two of you, and that was problematic for him, that was problematic, that was sad, and also in a way he didn't know what to do with that. He wished, he wished for, sort of a way of communicating with the two of you. But he was also appreciative, of the fact that you have come all the way from China to be here. And that sense of Jack being able to see his reactivity, to see the forces that he was dealing with, and at the same time having this aspiration, towards something that he was very aware, he was very aware that he was dying, but at the same time he didn't fall into despair. He didn't thought that it was pointless, to have an aspiration in terms of growth and development, in terms of helping others. So I think that's a wonderful quality to remember in Jack. I think probably for me, personally, the gift that I received from Jack, seeing how he was so aware of his own suffering, and also he was very aware that he wanted to be part of a community, you know. And that was very important for him. I'm very, very glad that we did that. You know, we created the conditions for him to become a mitra. There are a number of things I remember, you know, with Jack that were always delightful. You know, he was very interested in politics. He was very interested in the environment and the climate change. One of the things that he told me, you know, that he was doing in those last weeks was that he was watching a couple of series in the BBC iPlayer. One of them was about the New Labour, and the other was about Obama's White House and Happy Valley as well. He was watching that, and also he was, he was in a way engaged with, you know, with a sort of a thirst for life, you know, that engaged with something. That I resonated deeply with, you know, that sense of somebody who is still there, present, you know. So I thought I was going to do something chronologically, but that's what came up. For me, it's a delight. Something I wanted to say is, for me, Jack's life is very important. You know, it's a very important part of my own process, you know, and I feel very honored that I had the opportunity to witness his going for refuge. Yeah. And that's it. Thank you.
Hi everyone. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Lloyd King, and I became friends with Jack through the Nottingham Buddhist Centre, actually. So I had the honour and privilege of rejoicing in Jack at his mitra ceremony, which was a wonderful opportunity to rejoice in all of his many qualities. And I also had the honour of speaking at his funeral alongside Lloyd Rhodes Brandon, who's here today, and Jack's other friend, Will. And both of those are things that I will always remember for the rest of my life. What I wanted to do this evening was focus more on Jack as a member of this community and indeed the wider Triratna movement. So as a member of the Nottingham Sangha community, Jack brought his many qualities and shared them with his friends and acquaintances in the Sangha. I got to know Jack initially through the combination of the young people's group here, of under 35s, and the men's study group, where we were studying the Buddhist teachings. In our study group, Jack brought a depth of knowledge and wisdom, which allowed him to easily grapple with even the most complex areas of the Buddhist teachings, the Dharma. He thrived off spiritual study, and it made those of us lucky enough to have been witness to it all the richer for it. We grew alongside Jack. In the young people's group, Jack enjoyed having the opportunity to meet with other young Buddhists, strengthening his many friendships with members of the group, and having the opportunity to practice with other young Buddhists, like-minded Buddhists. Jack extended his love for young people's events outside of the Nottingham Sangha, going to Vajrasana for an under-25s retreat, and with me and Lloyd Rhodes Brandon to Padmaloka for a young men's retreat, which was his first and only time visiting Padmaloka, making it even more special. Indeed, his first ever retreat with Triratna, as Aryavachan alluded to, was the, I think they call it the big weekend, but essentially under 35's festival retreat at Adhisthana in August 2021, which makes it all the more special that Jayadi's here actually from Adhisthana, because I know that was a place that he loved very much. I know that the people of colour events were also very important to Jack, both inside the Nottingham Sangha and outside of it. I'm sure others who knew Jack in these particular spaces and events will have more to say about this than me, but it was clear to me that from my conversations and friendships with Jack that a diverse Sangha within Charatna was important to him and was a reflection of the values he held in promoting equality, equity and diversity. Jack brought so much to the Sangha in the different events and spaces he was involved with, and no doubt in the rejoicing everyone else will be doing this evening, it will become all the clearer how widely his impact was felt. Jack will be missed dearly by his friends in the Sangha, but we will continue to remember him and everything he brought to it, and the legacy will live on in the friends he inspired. Do you want the microphone?
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Hello. 这里是一个温暖的地方，我喜欢这里。
So this would be the direct translation with yeah. So this is a really warm and loving place, and I really like it here.
感谢佛教中心举办了捷克的纪念活动，非常荣幸能够参加这次的活动。然后我写了一段文字来纪念我的爱子。
So I'm really grateful for the Buddhist Center for organising Jack's memorial event here, and it is a great honour to be able to participate in this event. And I wrote a paragraph in memory of my beloved son.
我相信人有灵魂，死后会重生。杰克离开这个世界后，我一直在想他去了哪里。
I always believe that people have a soul and are reborn after death. After Jack left this world, and I keep thinking where he has gone. I know a little about Pure Land of Buddhism.
我对佛教的净土宗有些了解。净土宗说，人只要相信有阿弥陀佛的世界，临终前念10句阿弥陀佛，就可以往生到西方极乐世界。西方极乐世界是阿弥陀佛创造的天上的国度，是一个非常美好的地方。
Okay, so the Pure Land says that as long as people believes in the world of Amitabha Buddha, they can be reborn in the Western paradise. If they recite 10 lines of Amitabha before passing away, and the Western paradise is a heavenly kingdom created by Amitabha Buddha. It is a very beautiful place.
杰克在临终的时候，他的 iPad 上面重复播放的是阿弥陀佛心咒，阿弥陀瓦瑞。4月14号凌晨的时候，我在他的身旁坐着，迷迷糊糊的跟着念咒语，我的眼前忽然出现了4个字：所看见去。
So before Jack passed away, his iPad was playing the Amitabha mantra, Amideva Hui, repeatedly. In the early morning of April 15, I sat beside him and followed the mantra in a daze. A few words suddenly popped up in my mind. It says, "Follow what you see."
我猜想这4个字的意思是，杰克跟着他看见的东西去了。他看见了什么呢？是西方极乐世界吗？他是去了那里吗？但愿如此。
I guess these words means that Jack has followed what he saw. What did he see? Is it the Western paradise? Did he go there? I really wish that is the case.
佛教还讲轮回，杰克也有可能轮回了。他喜欢诺丁汉，他会选择在诺丁汉重生吗？也有可能。
Buddhism talks about reincarnation. Jack may also be reincarnated. He loves Nottingham. Will he choose to be born in Nottingham?
我不确定杰克去了哪里，但是我相信他一定去了一个充满爱的地方。
I'm not too sure where Jack actually went, but I'm sure he must have gone somewhere full of love.
杰克是完美主义者，一生坚持追求美好事物。诺丁汉有许多美好的东西，但我认为最美好的是爱。
Jack was a perfectionist who insisted on pursuing beautiful things all his life. Nottingham is full of beautifulness, and the most beautiful things I saw in here is love.
杰克放弃曼彻斯特大学，选择了诺丁汉大学。他在生命最后时刻也选择不回中国，永远留在诺丁汉。诺丁汉为什么对他有这么大的吸引力？
Jack picked the University of Nottingham over the Uni of Manchester. At the last moment of his life, he chose not to return to China and stayed in Nottingham forever. Why is Nottingham so special and important to him?
原因有很多。杰克对他的一个朋友说过：“我的朋友都在诺丁汉。”我想这是一个很重要的原因。
There must be lots of different reasons, but the most important one is what Jack said to one of his mates. All my friends are here.
我在诺丁汉生活了14个月，我的妻子明在这里生活了8个月。这段时间，佛教中心、彩虹 Hospice、诺丁汉城市医院、杰克的朋友都给了我们非常多的帮助，让我们感受到了巨大的爱。
I've stayed in Nottingham for 14 months, and Ming, my wife, has been here for 8 months. During this time, the Buddhist Centre, Rainbow Hospice, Nottingham City Hospital, and all of Jack's friends have given us lots of love and support, which made us feel so blessed.
街道上的陌生人和我们打招呼，下雨天主动让我们搭车，巴士司机友善的问候，让我们感受到了这是个温暖的地方。我们也渐渐爱上了这个城市，我们也开始理解杰克的选择。
Greeting from strangers on the street, people who offered us lifts on those rainy days, and all of the warm welcome from the bus drivers have showed us how loving and caring Nottingham is, and we have gradually fallen in love with this city. This also made us fully understand Jack's choice of staying in this lovely place.
杰克是个坚持做自己的人，他在这个世界的选择习惯也会在另外一个世界继续下去。
Jack was a strong and amazing person who always insisted on the best version of himself, and this spirit of his will surely continue in another world.
我想他一定会找到一个充满爱的地方，在那里再结交很多友善的朋友，做着他喜欢的事，快乐的生活着。
And I think he'll definitely find a place full of love where he can continue to make lots of great friends, do what he loves, and live happily forever.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jack Sadden, Lloyd and Ari Vashin. I definitely feel the presence of those energies of Jack's. We have still about 10 minutes for any of you who would like to say a few words and rejoice in Jack. So you don't have to come here up front, you can just speak from where you are, whoever would like to say something.
as she was talking, it was really reflected what came to me when I was meditating and thinking of Jack, and that Jack was often a man who works, but had the most incredibly strong presence. And when I was thinking about it, it took me no trouble to think of all the different times that in the recent seen that the demonstration around the climate change. So it wasn't something that I got to know well, but made an incredible impression on me. And I thought the best way to sum it up was at the last stage of the meditation, when it was about sending metta to all sentient beings. Just towards the end, I just had this really strong urge to send it to the planet, to send it to the parks and the animals, and this planet that we need to heal so much. And it just felt like that was Jack telling, that was Jack's energy, that was Jack's influence, and that just felt like something really special that I just wanted to share. Because I think, it's this evening has really made me realise just how strong, often a very silent message was that he gave to people, and that's an amazing thing.
I'll go over here because otherwise I'll you all turn around. Good now? Yeah. All right. I don't really know what I'm going to say, but I met Jack on that big weekend in 2021, was it? So, and it's quite a sort of unconventional meeting because at that time I'm quite fond of recalling the story, so, but for that weekend there were a lot of young Buddhists coming together from different places in the country. And we were tied for the most amount of people there with Sheffield. And I hadn't met Jack yet, and Jack had never been to the centre at that point. But he had found Adhisthana Retreat Centre through the Buddhist group there. And we met him, and he became the 15th person, and we had the most amount of people. And it was the first time, possibly the only time, that that's happened. I probably met Jack maybe 5 or 6 times from that point onward. Often we went to blend and eat sugary things. He really liked sugary stuff. And have coffee, and then he would usually ask me really complicated Buddhist questions which I couldn't answer. And I suppose the thing that stands out for me the most is really that I have a very deep gratitude for Jack. Mainly, the thing that's standing out for me the most really is when Jack became a mitra. We were there with him in the hospice, and I could just see, I had met Jack in the hospice 2 times before that. And it was difficult to see him so frail. And that was a challenge on many different levels. But seeing the joy that he had making that commitment for that ceremony has just really stayed with me. I can still sort of close my eyes and picture it very clearly. And then it was sort of 2 weeks later, and I was going to visit Jack with Lloyd and Rio after his passing. And I don't really want to say too much about that because I still don't quite understand what happened there in that whole occasion. But one thing that stood out to me since then is that I'm just quite struck by the power of other people's commitment has on the Sangha. Because that occasion that brought me, Rio and Lloyd together, and meeting you, both of you, in a really crucial time, I'll just remember it for the rest of my life, really. I don't really know what else to say about it. It was just, I just sort of couldn't quite believe that this guy that I'd met in 2021 and had been through this, and now I'm here with his parents talking, really having a really meaningful conversation about Jack and his effect on the world. I just feel immensely grateful for that, really. Yeah, that's probably enough.
Thank you. So we've got a space for just one more person.
Does anybody else want to? Okay. So I know many people have talked about Jack's affiliation, but my name's Marcus and I was in the pre-mature study group with Jack. And I know that he really enjoyed Thich Nhat Hanh. So there's a poem here which I thought I'd read out, which is called In the Midst of Winter. In the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer. And that makes me happy, for it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me there is something stronger, something better pushing right back. Despite the suffering and darkness pushed against Jack, there was a light within him that could not be extinguished. It is a light that shines brightly within this shrine room today and in the hearts of the many lives that he touched. When I think of right speech, I think of Jack. I appreciated his calm, measured and thoughtful responses when we talked about the Dharma. It seemed as if every word that came out of his mouth was carefully curated and deliberate. When I think of right action, I think of Jack. Through his involvement in both Extinction Rebellion and Nottingham climate action, he understood the interconnectedness of all beings and the importance of protecting our planet and creating a better reality for our climate and our futures. Thank you, Jack, for living a life of compassion, mindfulness and activism, and for brightening our paths with your inner light.
Thank you very much. I think I would like us to leave well, to sort of take each other in and take the words in, and maybe leave with a short ritual just to sort of conclude this special evening. We had a plan to chant the Vajrasattva, the long version of Vajrasattva mantra, but I think we're sort of transforming it to the Amitabha mantra. So I think it sort of is a natural kind of flow to go with that open heart, okay? But I suggest we just sit for a minute or two and just take in the whole evening and Jack's presence. And when I start the mantra, feel free to join. And also those who wish can do offerings as well at the shrine. Om Ami Deva Hri. 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 Om Ami Deva Thank you very much for coming and creating this evening so in such a special way. Thank you.